Hey, what's up, guys? This is T-Bone here. Welcome back to another episode of playing Legendary Game of Heroes. In this episode, I wanted to go over my current event deck, what I'm using, and also a couple of deck ideas that you might try out. But mainly, I think the MVP here is going to be Protectors of Prosperity, which I'm using with great success. So this card has the ability to give you 2000% attack boost if it's the first time you activate a battle skill, and then subsequently after that, it only gives you 200. So you're going to get a lot less damage output once you've activated this once, but really you're just counting on the first time you activate this deck. So pair that with Pujari Rashmi, the ultra rare card, you're going to get 4000% attack boost from the beginning. I'm using Hard One Gorillas to give me also the nuke damage afterwards for 5 times the amount. And then the other 2 cards I'm using, Verdant Druids for the 900% damage boost, and Reaping Royalty, which I put in here for 2 reasons. Number 1, it passively spawns gems in the beginning, so I can fill up my board at the beginning of the turn to help me use this as a turn 0 deck. And also, if I need to, this card, when you activate a battle skill, it will cleanse all the debuffs again that's on you, including Toxin, which then is going to be helpful for me because I need it to dispel Toxin if I want to activate my Protectors of Prosperity and also Pujari Rashmi. So let's go ahead and see this deck in action and see how much damage we can do with this particular setup. Now, keep in mind, I'm using Verdant Druids. I'm not using the current event deck. If you're using the current event ultimate form and also Protectors of Prosperity, you're actually going to deal a ton of damage. Okay, so this is pretty simple. All I need to do is activate Protectors of Prosperity and Pujari Rashmi, and then also my Hard One Gorillas. And then I'm just going to go ahead and do a Power Gem swap. And let's see how much damage we can do here. So right now I'm able to deal, and what I look at is my Hard One Gorilla, which is at 213. So that means I'm able to deal a little over a quadrillion damage, and that is sufficient for me to get MVP at this point. And now what happens here is this is just panic, so I'm not really worried about it, but I'm gonna go ahead and activate everything. So I'm not really concerned about other people jumping in, but normally if you do that and then there are other people who are attacking as well, after you activate Verdant Druid, someone else's attack is going to come in. Now take a look at the amount of damage I'm dealing here. So 37 trillion only at this point for Hard One Gorillas, and that is the difference. So after your first attack, all your subsequent activations using Protectors of Prosperity and Rashmi is going to give you only 200% instead of 2000%. And the attack, you can see the amount of attack difference from those 2 attacks. But for me, it is sufficient for me because I just need to get the MVP. If I don't get the finisher, that's okay. And normally I play a lot faster than that, so I can usually, also complete the boss at the same time. But just after my first attack, I'm able to get 50%, and that is enough for me. And so if you want to use this setup, I highly recommend using Protectors of Prosperity. It is available in the vault, 50% off. Now's the chance for you to try and get it from the vault if you can't, because it really is basically the MVP for all future Earth Slayer events. It is going to be a staple for Earth Slayer decks, and it is going to be really useful. So I really like that deck, even more so than this event deck. Okay, so this event ultimate form, yes, it's going to be powerful because you can pair it with Protectors of Prosperity, but not because the deck itself is super strong. It is simply because you can use this combination with the fact that it has 15 times Slayer bonus, and also it creates a lot of power gems to really power it up. But what I would say is Protectors of Prosperity is going to be the card that will boost all Earth Slayer cards in all future events, and so I highly recommend that. All right, some of the other decks, I was just kind of playing with, like, if you don't have anything else, but you do have Verdant Druids and you have a couple event deck maybe, and event cards, and you have the support card, we can also show you how much damage this is able to deal. Okay, so with this particular setup though, to get the maximum damage, you technically need to wait until turn 2. So you really kind of need to wait a turn here. But in this situation, I'm just going to go for it because it could be that if I wait, I'm not going to be able to get my damage in. So make sure not to activate Verdant Druids. whenever you're attacking a boss that's not your own. And let's see how much damage we can deal here. There's no additional boost. This is just, a simple 900% damage boost here. And you can see that the amount of damage really isn't all that great. All right, this is just with, with nothing else, just a couple of trillion. But what I want to show here is that this is not the setup that you would use for Corellian bosses. This is a type of setup that you would use for maybe, I would say, for Ruby bosses. So if you're doing a frenzy and you have Ruby bosses, let's go ahead and take a look here. I want to show you. So I'm gonna show you on the diamond boss here, and this is going to be my boss. So it shouldn't be too bad. And what I mentioned earlier is that this is sort of like a turn 2 deck. And the reason I say that is because you want to wait for a couple of things. You want to wait for your immortal intensity to go up a little bit. And then you also want to wait for your... what you want to do is you want to wait for your Verdant Druids and also your Making Use passive ability to kick in to generate more power gems first. So after turn 1, you're going to get more power gems here. And unfortunately, again, it gem crushed, which is not what I wanted to see. But what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and activate them anyway. And so what I'm doing here is I'm also activating Making You to give me an additional attack so that I can, any bit will help. And let's see how much damage we can deal now. Earlier, we saw 1.2 or 1.3. Now we've gone up to 4.7, for the event cards. And so our attack actually did go up. And if we were to quit right now, I'm going to show you how much damage that can deal. And so if we take a look, again, this is against a diamond boss, so it's not really what it's for. But if you can see here, I was able to deal about 19 trillion. A Ruby boss is going to be about 21 trillion in health. And so this deck is more than sufficient for you to go against the Ruby bosses for your Frenzy boss, for example, and you'll be able to make a difference there. And so what I want to show also is like if you don't have anything else, this is still something that you could at least use. Now, an even better combination, if you have it, I don't, but if you do, would be the event ultimate form, and then put in a Visions of the Void, and also an Awakened Dream Guardian. The reason for that is because you are going to be giving damage boost to all beast killers based on the number of Earth Gems on the deck, on the board. And so if you couple that with Protectors of Prosperity with the attack boost and then the damage boost, and also with the power gems from the current event deck, you are going to be dealing a massive amount of damage. Okay, and I'm talking 4 to 5 quadrillion, damage here. And so let's take a look and see how much I can deal with this setup, which is not the same as what I was talking about. Like, I don't have Visions of the Void, so I'm missing some of the damage boost, but I do have Protectors of Prosperity. I don't have the current event ultimate form, but I do have Verdant Druid. So let's see, how much we can deal here. So if I'm gonna do this, what I'll do is I'm just gonna be activating everything, but I'll be activating Dream Guardians last. You want to make sure that you have the maximum number of gems on the board, and then you activate Dream Guardians. And if you have Visions of the Void, you will be activating Visions of the Void first because it will also create some power gems. And so let's take a look and see here. So you can see that my Protectors of Prosperity is able to deal 230 trillion on its own, and altogether the amount of damage I was able to deal is about, actually I thought I saw some overkill there. Let's just take a look here. I want to calculate but you can see it was at least over 500 trillion. All right, so it was quite a big amount for those 3 cards. And this is because it's got the damage boost from the Visions of the Void deck. For me, it's from the Dream Guardian, and I'm also using all the Slayer cards except for the card on the far left. So let's take a look again and see how much damage we can do. This time we can go on turn 0. So let's just go ahead and activate again in the same order, and let's see how much damage we do there. So I expect this to be a slightly less potentially because there's, I think, less power gems compared to the last time I hit. But let's take a look and see. So we have so you have 200, 300, 4, 5, about 600-700 trillion right there. So I guess earlier I was able to deal, so I was able to deal 530 trillion. So earlier I was really dealing close to a quadrillion there. And so with this setup, you can also deal some really good damage. And so for me, like, you can go either with this setup here that uses Visions of the Void. In fact, I think you're going to get much better damage output there than with, Hard One Gorillas. This is my personal preference. I use it because this is one of my favorite cards. But if you have Visions of the Void, then you definitely want to try and pair that with Protectors of Prosperity if you have it, because it is going to help you gain some really good damage. So once again, what I recommend is, if you can, take a look at the Revival Vault this time, and given that it's 50% off, now is a chance to try and get yourself the deck if possible. And if you're able to pull at least Pujari Rashmi, that's still great, because that still gives you 2,000% attack boost for all future Earthslayer events. And so hopefully that works for you. That's something that you're able to take advantage of. If you didn't know to use that, you should definitely try it out. And Visions of the Void, put her in the deck, you're going to notice a significant difference. That's going to be it for me for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you're having a good event. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye now.